ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. The nectar of thy words revives the scorched spirit of human beings. They purify the sinner and are the life of the holy. To hear them itself is auspicious and peace generating. They are the real givers who spread, and today's scripture is the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. We are on chapter 21. The chapter is entitled A Day at Dakshineshwar, and it was recorded on April 5, 1884. We had read how Sri Ramakrishna said about his affiliation, truthfulness, his allegiance, his observance of truthfulness, and how now it is not that stubbornly truthful, but how he manages. He says everything about himself. The beauty of Sri Ramakrishna, as great spiritual leader, as incarnation of God, is in his childlike sweetness. His life is so transparent. Everything that he says and does is open to all. It's like an open book. That's why he doesn't hide that how much intense truthfulness earlier. Now it is a little compromise. And he says if I said someone to do something to other, if other person did, then he says, oh, it's by the God's will that has been done. So like that. But 100% truthful he was. Even when he says that it did slacken, that also. Now M came by boat and all that thing was there. Now here we read on page 419. I find a change coming over me. Years ago, Vaishnavacharan said to me, one attains perfect knowledge when one sees God in man. Now I see that it is God alone who is moving about in various forms, as a holy man, as a cheat, as a villain. Therefore I say, Narayana in the guise of the sadhu, Narayana in the guise of the cheat, Narayana in the guise of the villain, Narayana in the guise of the lecher. So all these good and bad people's name he says, and Sri Ramakrishna by his own experience he knows, but he would not miss giving reference to the person from whom he heard first. Vaishnavacharan had said that perfect knowledge is attained when one sees God dwelling in all. And how Sri Ramakrishna sees God in all. So he is the perfect Jnani, there's no doubt about that. And he still says he heard that from Vaishnavacharan, who quotes from the scriptures like that. But Sri Ramakrishna practically does. That's why he says change is coming to me. He has earlier he used to distinguish between good person and bad person, like some pure and impure. But now he sees everything as divine. He says everything as God manifesting in different forms. Narayana and good person, the saintly person, Narayana is the evil person. So all are God disguised in different beings. And that is the highest knowledge. Ishavasya idam sarvam. Whatever is here, all this should be covered by God, as has to be seen, imbued with God. So that is the highest knowledge, Ishavasya sarvam. That is what Sri Ramakrishna says. Everything is covered by God. Everything is covered means what? Everything is filled with God, covered with God. Everything is beset with God. So that is what Sri Ramakrishna's total vision, perception. It's not just in theory now. It has become like that. That's why the changes have come to him. He doesn't find anyone impure anyway. So that's what Sri Ramakrishna says earlier. Still, he used to discern that this is pure and impure. Now, everything seems to be God. Insult is from God and praise from God. Like that state of highest perfect knowledge he has attained, and he's in that. Now my problem is how I can feed all of you. I want to feed everyone. So I keep one at a time with me and feed him. Now, after seeing God, one wants to express love for God, adoration, worship. What one does do when you find God? God, if it is in the statue or image, you do dhupam and deepam and food, you offer food. But when you see God in a living person, how do you do that? It's not only by giving dhoop and deep, by putting sandal paste will be complete. The highest expression of love is feeding, something to give joy to that person. This is the highest. As we find our love for our children or our parents, all this expressed through what we feed is mostly it is time of food that when mothers eat and son is gone or daughter has gone somewhere far away and something comes to in the plate that is tasty, that son or daughter or any person close to that person is to like, immediately mind goes to that person. Oh, he's not there. She would have liked it so much. And person when he comes, he would make that and feed that thing. So feeding is the expression of the highest love. Now he sees God in everyone. And that's why he says, I want to feed you, feed all of you, because you are all God for me. So, but all of you, I cannot feed here. There is no kitchen, little prasad is to come, small room. Now he says, what can I do that? So it is, I make one of you feed one day. I ask you one of you to stay and so that I can feed one day by each person. Like that, when we come for celebration, Sri Ramakrishna celebration, Holy Mother celebration. So when we all eat prasad, Holy Mother's prasad all together, so who is the happiest person? All the devotees who worked hard, who cooked well, all they are very, very happy. But the happiest person we are all doing on behalf of Holy Mother. Holy Mother is so happy to feed all her beloved children. That we should feel. When we eat her prasad, the happiest person is Holy Mother. So that's how Sri Ramakrishna wants to feed. Holy Mothers also always wanted to feed people. The her photograph that we see in the dining halls of the Ramakrishna Order, that is why while she was feeding someone. So we feel that she feels so happy when her children are eating. So that's what Sri Ramakrishna said. I want to feed you all, but that's why I cannot do it all at once. So I asked one of them, like, and then I offer food. Pran Krishna looking at him and smiling. A fine man indeed, to the master. He would not let us go till we put him ashore. What happened this day when he was coming? This 2000, this 5th April 18 and 5th April 1884. This day when Pran Krishna was coming, so that time he was coming by boat and he wanted Yam to come with him. But little water became rough and Yam didn't come with them. He walked all the way from Kolkata to Dakshineshwar. And he came little late. Pran Krishna arrived early, so he was pestering Pran Krishna to put on shore from where it originated. He will not travel by boat because water had become chirpy. So that's what he refers that he forced him, told him many times, put me ashore, put me ashore, put me ashore. Like that, he's making fun of that. Fine man, how he afraid so much to come by boat. Uh, and master says, why? What happened? He asked, asking. He was in our boat. Seeing the river was slightly rough, he insisted on being put ashore. To M, how did you come? M, smiling, on foot. So all the way he walked on foot from Kolkata to Dakshineswar, quite good distance. Sri Ramakrishna laughed, seeing that M's fear. He didn't know swimming, no doubt, but so many people don't know swimming, yet they have faith in the boatman, in the boat taking across. So yet they come. So he was insisting very much. He was just couldn't come by boat. So that was Sri Ramakrishna also laughed so much of fear that he could not come when all were there together. He could not trust them. So this fear is something. Fear is something very unfounded thing often happens. People are afraid of ghosts without having any proof or ever seeing the ghost. Like that, the boat is coming. All are going by the boat. Why should he be afraid when there are Pran Krishna, boatman, other persons? But he would not come. He said, "Put me ashore. Put me down on the land." So he just came on foot. So Sri Ramakrishna laughed. Pran Krishna to the master. Sir, I am thinking now of giving up my work. One who is involved in activity cannot accomplish anything, pointing to his companion. I am training him to do my work. After I resign, he will relieve me. Work has become intolerable. Krishna was a religious person, so he wants now to devote his time for religious practice, scriptural practice, spiritual practice, and that's why I said he wants to resign from the work, and he has already found his successor. That was his saying. Work is for the time being. His work, he was a wealthy man. Krishna was a wealthy man. He loved Sri Ramakrishna. Early morning, he came by boat all the way from Kolkata, giving up everything. This was a Saturday. So that's how Krishna loved Sri Ramakrishna, to be with him, to converse with him, but he very much involved in spiritual practice. So he says, I want to give up the work now, done a lot of life. Now the time has come that I fully give myself to the spiritual practice. He was connected to God, working, and also now he's done. He has done. He seems now he wants to fully devote his time for spirituality. Master, yes, work is very troublesome. It is now good for you to meditate on God for a few days in solitude. No doubt you say that you would like to give up your work. Captain said the same thing. Worldly people talk that way, but they don't succeed in carrying out their intention. This strong conviction, strong desire to spiritual for spiritual practice doesn't happen. At the time it comes like, oh, work done enough, I should devote my time for spiritual practice, for meditation and prayer. But something else comes and you made that the secondary thing, spiritual practice, because worldly some needs are there, because there is no strong conviction, strong will. That's why it goes to second place. It doesn't get the priority. So that's what Sri Ramakrishna points out, that even other people also say that they want to do a spiritual practice, but he could not do. He put aside. So he says that. Captain also said that. He says, Krishna, you must do that. Work is troublesome. You must meditate on God in solitude. Why in solitude? We can meditate on God in house also. If we are in the house, some or other this work comes up from you want to do there. Something happens. Some visitors come, some work comes, some other necessity comes, and your spiritual practice doesn't get the priority. It is deviated. You have to give your time and energy for something else without even your wanting that it comes. When you are solid in solitude away from your household, the household things are managed by someone or other, and you go there and spend some time there. Sri Ramakrishna would say 1 week, 1 month, 1 day, like that he used to say. So solitude is the place where we can try to connect with God without disturbance. This disturbance comes when you are in household, though you may feel I will get there. That's why solitude is very important. So if you go to solitude, then how do you eat? If you want to stay there for 1 month or for 1 week, you take some dry food, or you take some grocery and cook yourself simple, boil the food, or you take some like that, you can survive for that. When the spiritual becomes priority, the need for food becomes secondary. Somehow it happens. There are many people, some monks. Our Swami Chetananandji, he goes to solitude, and there he creates such wonderful books, and he cooks himself. Himself he cooks sometime daily routine, no disturbance. So all time he pours in prayer, meditation, and in writing books. And that's why all the books that Swami Chaitanya has contributed for us all has come from that life of Sri Ramakrishna, life of Holy Mother, Yam, Girish Ghosh, so many books, Prachin Sabdhir Katha, the stories of Vedanta monks, so many. God lived with them, they lived with God. So, like that, all the books in Bengali and Hindi, in English have come from him. Because of him, he's being in solitude for many years. It is his routine for summertime. Uh, that helps for spiritual practice, being in solitude. Sri Ramakrishna after emphasized this for For a genuine spiritual seeker, he says you should try to be in solitude, and there the quality of your spiritual practice will improve. Not only that, it will be undisturbed. You can practice with all sincerity, and external things will not disturb. That's why go to the solitude, says Sri Ramakrishna, and then you can do there. Now he says there are many Pandits who speak words of wisdom, but they merely talk, they don't live up to them. They are like vultures. People talking something that really they don't practice, knowing that this is the thing, that is the reality, like Vaishnavacharan saying, the perfect knowledge comes when you see God in every human being. And so, but how to realize that? We know from the scriptures, we know that it is true, but not realize, not practice. So that conviction doesn't come. You don't deny the scriptures, but until you yourself experience, that conviction doesn't come, and the joy also doesn't come. Having seeing God in every being, that joy is different from trying to feel by, because the scriptures say, and yes, it seems that everything is, there is something, some light, some beauty, some purity there in every being. Whatever he may look like, or whatever he or she may be doing, or whatever he or she may be person, but in fact everyone, in everyone there is the spiritual pure light of spirituality burning there, shining there. So though intellectually we can say that, but unless we see that, neither comes that 100% conviction, now nor comes the joy of seeing God. So that's why Sri Ramakrishna wants that joy of God realization to be experienced by all of his devotees, all of his these devotees who come to him. That's why he says you should try to do, experience that. So just reading the books and trying to know that just by reading and talking high without your own experiencing, that is not something, you miss many things in that. Sri Ramakrishna says that. But what he says, and such persons who know a lot and they speak also, but do not really try to experience that realization, he said they are like vultures. Vultures in the sense from Sri Ramakrishna will describe why he called them vultures. Great pandits, great scholars, they have studied, they have enjoyed studying that, they find the truth in that, they are convinced with the truth of the Shastras, but not 100% convinced because they have not realized. So if you challenge them, they will quote the Shastras. But sir, have you seen God, like that thing? Have you realized that God dwells in every being? Then what? Then say, no, I have not realized, but that is the truth. So you have not found the fountain of bliss that that realization can bring. And you talk a lot about that, you yourself not fully 100% realizing that. So that is like the vultures, he says. Why vultures? Knowing so fully. Vultures example is so beautiful, Sri Ramakrishna gives. He says the vultures are the birds who fly very high in the sky. So that pandits are very high in their academic knowledge of the scriptures, very highly advanced. They can analyze even intricate philosophy of spirituality, of Vedanta, and they can explain also very well. But they, that's so high they are, but where do they look? They look at the world. Still, the desire for enjoying the world has not gone. The enjoying the worldly pleasures are there. So, and gives the example, vultures soar very high in the sky, but they look at the ground, and where is the charnel pit? Where is the dead body carcass of an animal is there? So can they land and feed themselves? So they feed the dead body of animals. So their attention is searching the food on the ground, though they may soar high. Like that, these pundits, though they may be very highly academically qualified and studied very well, but still the desire for enjoying the world has not gone, and the desire to experience the bliss of God is not strong enough. So going high, looking down. So that's why he gives the vultures examples. So so appropriate for in if pandits are vultures, ordinary people who do not even read the scriptures and are engrossed in enjoying the worldly pleasures, then who are they? What they will be examples? They are like wolves and jackals. So they will be only seeing the dead body or animal or like the dogs and other animals. So enjoying the things that is here, enjoying what dead bodies or worldly pleasures are like that. Very, they are very gross, have a very little of real joy in them, very short lived, not intense joy, and yet they feel that, oh, this is very enjoyable. Forgetting and not knowing the great bliss of realization of God or being in God. They are all indulged in Vishayananda, forgetting the Bhajanananda and Brahmananda, where so much degree of joy is there. So, like that, the example of those rats, they come to eat the rice from the stored bags, and they end up eating some puffed rice kept by the storekeeper near those bags, and do not touch the bags. So they are happy with smaller happiness, pleasures, and they forget about the real condensed bliss or real intense joy. So like that, he would give the examples how we in the world, if we miss the bliss of God and keep ourselves indulged in the worldly pleasures, we miss the bliss, real, true bliss. That's what Sri Ramakrishna said. And he feels so sad because we have the capacity to realize that, to experience that bliss of God, yet we do not try for that. That's why it pains Sri Ramakrishna. And that's why he says to Narendranath, be a shelter to the people who are in the world and guide them. He said to Holy Mother, you have to do so much work. You cannot just give up your life, end your life like that here, and you have to leave after I'm gone and do a lot of work for showing the path of spirituality to the people at large. And that's what Sri Ramakrishna's intention is, to make people find the real bliss away from the suffering of the world. They are like vultures which soar very high but keep their gaze fixed on the charnel pit. What I mean is that these Pandits are attached to the world, to woman and gold. If I hear that Pandits are practicing discrimination and dispassion, then I fear them. Otherwise, I look upon them as mere goats and dogs. This goats and dog is the proverb. ছাগল কুকুরের মতো. Very common people. They are interested in only things. They talk a lot. So if they have some discernment and practice spirituality, they're really interested in having the spiritual purity. Then I fear them. Fear means I respect them. Otherwise I don't care them if they talk very high things. Fear means the respect, that really they have advanced in spiritual practice. Otherwise they may talk a lot, but I treat them like common beings, very indulged in sense pleasures. So though they may talk a lot, so that's what Sri Ramakrishna compares that with this scholarship. If there is spirituality attached, then there is the real joy. Otherwise, it becomes mere scholarship. Even Shankara said in Viveka Chudamani, Vag Vaikhari Shabdajhari Shastra Vyakhyana Kausalam Vaidishyam Vidusham Tadvat Bhuktaye Natu Muktaye. If you have a lot of scholarship and a skill of explaining the Shastras and studies a lot of Shastras, and if you do not have real love for God has developed, you have not developed spiritual practice, then that is not real, that is not for your mukti. You will not get mukti by just reading the books. Um, Mukti will come from experience of what is described in the books. So that becomes for the joy, pleasure. What pleasure? Vaidusham, vidusham. The world, the scholars just have the pleasure of getting honor and the gift and all that thing, but not for the salvation. So that doesn't serve the purpose of studying the scriptures. Sri Ramakrishna continues, there are many Pandits who speak words of wisdom, but they merely talk. They don't live up to them. They are like vultures which soar very high but keep their gaze fixed on charnel pit. What I mean is that these Pandits are attached to the world, to woman and gold. If I hear them, these Pandits are practicing discrimination and dispassion, then I fear them. Otherwise, I look upon them as mere goats and dogs. Pran Krishna saluted the master and took his leave. He said to him, "Will you come with us?" No, sir. Catch me going with you again? Goodbye. So Yam is not going with Pran Krishna in the boat. So that's what he was must be making fun. He knew Yam will not go as he pestered to get down from the boat just after getting into it while coming to Dakshineswar. While going back, he will not go. So I will not go. Pran Krishna laughed and said, "I see you won't come in the boat." M took a little stroll near the Panchavati and bathed in the river. Then he went to the temples of Radhakanta and Kali and prostrated himself before the images. He said to himself, "I have heard that God has no form. Then why do I bow before these images? It is because Sri Ramakrishna believes in gods and goddesses with form. I don't know anything about God, nor do I understand Him. The Master believes in images. Then why shouldn't I too, who am so insignificant a creature, accept them?" So Yes, that thing was there. Still, he had that confusion. God can be with how many years he's here? So it is April to 1884, and he came in February 1882, February 82, 83, 84. So it 2 years, a few months. But still, he had that. In the very first meeting, Sri Ramakrishna had asked him, "Do you believe in God with form or without form?" So Sri Ram, and he said, "I believe in God. I would like to have believe in God without form." Sri Ramakrishna said, "That is good, keep it up, but don't say that God can remain manifest only without form and he cannot manifest that with form." So still Sri Ramakrishna said, but that thing what he had heard from Brahmo Samaj and upbringing and little thinking that God, how can the infinite God can become can manifest in the small image or through the human body. So all those things are being obstacle for his total understanding of God. And here he analyzes himself that what I do of God. Sri Ramakrishna bows down and prostrates. So what do I know? I'm so insignificant compared to Sri Ramakrishna or compared to other saints. So just to hold on my thought, not agreeing to what Sri Ramakrishna does will be a foolishness. And it will be egotism instead of real devotion. It will be just stubbornness. So he prostrates and he analyzes himself. Do I prostrate because I believe in God with form or because Sri Ramakrishna does? So he says, because Sri Ramakrishna does. And then he comes to analyze if a person like Sri Ramakrishna prostrates in front of the image of God and goddesses, so why cannot I do? What? How much do I know of God? So he knows God in full. I know nothing of God. So why should I stick to only one idea that God is only God can manifest only without form? So that he analyzes and comes to the conclusion that what Sri Ramakrishna says must be the correct. God has form, God is without form, God is with form. So God is infinite. You cannot, and Sri Ramakrishna would say, you cannot limit God by saying God is this. God is infinite. He can appear in infinite way. And you cannot say he can be this and cannot be that. So that would be wrong idea about your God. That shows you have not realized God. So accept that. He looked at the image of Kali. He saw that the Divine Mother holds in her hands, two left hands, a man's severed head and a sword. With her two right hands, she offers boons and reassurance to her devotees. In one aspect, she is terrible, and in another, she is the ever affectionate mother of her devotees. The two ideals are harmonized in her. She is a compassionate and affectionate to her. She is compassionate and affectionate to her devotees, to those who are submissive and helpless. It is also true that she is terrible, the consort of death. She alone knows why she assumes two aspects at the same time. So I cannot understand, so accept what she is. So mother is the divine mother who creates and also absorbs this universe. And what is explanation given about her left hands having sword and head, and right hand giving boon and fearlessness. They say that is for the devotees. That sword that we see is for the protection of the devotees. It is for cutting the ignorance of devotees. Why you say that God, mother is terrible? Terrible because if evils obstacles are not removed from your path, how will you do a spiritual practice? How will you come to mother? So mother removes obstacles, she and she gives her grace so that we can come to mother and try to understand her in totality as the divine mother of this universe, who not only creates but also destroys this universe, who sustains this universe. That is the totality of God. God cannot be just creating and not destroying. So God will create and also destroy his own creation. He doesn't destroy anything. He destroys his own creation. And but we all die. Somebody said, but we all die. For God it is a play, but it's death for us. But who is he? Who is the one who is dying and complaining? It is God Himself. The self is God Himself, and Prakriti is born of God. Is dependent on God. So Prakriti changes. Our body, mind, these are all part of the Prakriti. We assume that it is mine, it is me. That is wrong assumption. This trespassing of God's property as our own property. This body and mind are God's properties. These are not our properties. So God can make them live. God can make them die. But what happens in this is we don't die because we are immortal. So let God do His thing, whatever He likes. So why should we come in between and see at God's play? So that's how the total depiction of divine being and His action is seen in the Divine Mother Kali. She is her terrible aspect. We call it terrible because any destruction is called terrible. But destruction of that ignorance, how you call terrible? All destruction are not terrible. Destruction of ignorance, destruction of evil person or evil things, evil regime. How you call it terrible? It's by as that will be destroyed, the good and honest person will survive. Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya duskritam. That's what Sri Krishna says in the Gita, that dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So I bring my bring forth myself in every age for the destruction of the evil and for protection of good and for the establishment of dharma, of the law. That's why I incarnate myself. So evil has to be destroyed, goods have to be protected, good people have to be protected. That is the that is the law or work of God, as in the avatar of the Vishnu. Is supposed to protect his creation and guide his creation by removing the obstacles, those who create create the obstacles on the path of goodness, remove that and protect the good people. If they cannot do, who will do? Then Vishnu has to come. Krishna comes that way. That's why Krishna says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha duskritam. That's exactly what the Divine Mother is. All duskriti will be destroyed by the sword, and all good people will be protected, Paritrana, by through her grace and fearlessness. So we are devotees of Mother, and we are not duskriti, so we need not fear. That sword is not made for us. Sword is made for evil people. To protect us is that sword. Our suppose our army will get so much sophisticated all weapons and be in the border. So should we be afraid? Oh, so much weapons are there in the hands of army and all that. This is for our protection, for the protection of the border. So we remain peaceful and happy, and nothing can harm us. No enemy can come to the country in the land and harm us because they are there to protect with weapons. Like that is the Divine Mother, always for our protection and for showing us light to spiritual awareness. Yam remembered the interpretation of Kali given by the master. He said to himself, I have heard that Keshav accepted Kali in Sri Ramakrishna's presence. Is this as Keshav used to say, the goddess, all spirit and consciousness manifesting herself through a clay image? So Keshav used to say that way. How can she used to say that through clay image, the spirit is manifesting. So he remembered that. And Keshav learned a lot about Kali from Sri Ramakrishna. Not earlier, Keshav was from Brahmo Samaj. He naturally didn't believe in form. That is how the Brahmo Samaj started coming. Uh, Not totally following the Sanatana Dharma, our ancient thought and ideals, trying to reform it to worship God only without form. Sanatana Dharma is such a broad aspect of religion. Worshipping God only without form would make it limited. It has you can worship God with form and without form. Sri Ramakrishna totally epitomizes what Sanatana Dharma is. And that's what Yam also says, remembers Keshav. Yam returned to the master's room and sat on the floor. Sri Ramakrishna offered him some fruit and sweets to eat. On account of trouble in the family, M had recently rented a house in another section of Calcutta near his school. His father and brothers continuing to live in the ancestral home. But Sri Ramakrishna wanted him to return to his own home, since a joint family affords many advantages to one leading a religious life. Once or twice the master had spoken to him to this effect, but unfortunately he had not yet returned to his family. Sri Ramakrishna referred to the master again. So Sri Ramakrishna, as it clearly said, wanted him to go to his parents' house, but could not go because of differences with his parents, with his father especially, and he had rented a house, but Sri Ramakrishna didn't approve it. So let us see what the conversation is. Master, tell me that you are going to your ancestral home. Very much insisting Sri Ramakrishna, because he knew that makes many things clear. Relations will be good. This bothering thing of having not good relation with his father will take some portion of the mind, some dejection, not free, and also taking care of all that. Yeah, I can never persuade myself to enter that place. So much of relation has been strained with his father. Master, why? Your father is making over the whole house. So now the whole house is being made. M. I have suffered too much there. I can by no means make up my mind to go there. Master. Whom do you fear? M. All of them. Master, seriously. Isn't that like you're being afraid to go get into the boat? So you see this fear thing Sri Ramakrishna analyzes. So he says, I'm afraid of everyone. My father, this fear comes from his dislike. He explained more than fear, he's disliking the thing. And some relationship with his, perhaps with his wife also, with his parents or something. But him had a stepmother. Something relationship was not so good with that. So M avoided going there because there must be this stepmother and daughter-in-law, stepmother and his wife relationship, or somehow he felt that his father is not taking the justified position. He's supporting his second wife. So something was there. He was not happy with his father at all. And he says that, whom do you fear? Sri Ramakrishna says, I'm afraid of everyone. Means actually it is like disliking everyone there. And Sri Ramakrishna says, is it like you're being fearful of going by boat? Going by boat or just fear is just something that should not be there. If you go by boat, all fear will be gone. They say to overcome fear of anything is to practice that. If you're afraid to go by boat, take courage and go by boat. And then once you go, twice you go, and fear will go away. Like that is the fear thing. So here also he's afraid, he says he's afraid of his parents and everyone in the home. So if you go and start staying there, then all fear will go. Because there might be little dispute in some opinion, there might be something, but all that can overcome with so much of good and freedom for food and when you live together with a joint family, and you live alone with all grudges of father and your mother, stepmother, and you cannot be very happy person. So Sri Ramakrishna was very much insisting him to go to his father's place and says, "Your father's place is house. There is room for you. Everything will be all right. Go, try to go there." And at one place, as Yam says that towards later on it will come, that Yam actually went back by insistence, because of insistence of Sri Ramakrishna. He went back and came and reported, "I've gone back to home." And Sri Ramakrishna was so happy hearing that he has gone, his disciple has gone back home. Now he will be free from other worries and this relationship problem and can practice devotion well with full attention to devotion. Mind will be fresh, he'll be more happy, and things will be all better. That's what Sri Ramakrishna was insisting for him to go back to home. Um, so that's always he says, and as it said in the Bible also, that don't have any altercation with anyone. So try to mend all your views and try to live a simple life, so you don't have any hatred or grudge against anyone. When there is no grudge or hatred, your mind is fully, it can be fully given to God or fully spiritual practice. But when we have something like that, we have grudge, we have hatred, we have displeasure, feeling like that, then mind is already occupied. Some portion of the mind is occupied in such thing. When you try to give full mind, that mind is dragged back, and such thoughts may come when you are praying. So it will be detrimental for a spiritual practice when we have any ill feeling towards each other. So that's why the prayer that Sahana Bhava, the prayer says, "May we have no ill feeling towards each other." So that is so important, not to have ill feeling. It is very spiritual quality. It is not just that often we try to justify our ill feeling towards each other. We say, "Oh, that person I have ill feeling because that person is really bad." So, but this feeling bad or feeling good is to very much depend on my mind, what I think now. It can really, the person remains same, the world remains same. Whether you see it is a bad world or good world, it's up to me how I see that. Exactly same thing about the person. People are there, even in many people will find people going to the temple and then they will fight. Oh, that person has come, this person has come. All are devotees of same deity, following same religion. Still, they will not have this good relation with each other. So all devotees of God are our brothers and sisters. Our parents are God. God is our parent. So that idea doesn't come and we start seeing all defects in others. And one defect seeing leads to another defect, and that becomes a habit with us. And whenever we see that person, suppose we go to the temple or the colleague in the office, and you have some ill feelings towards the colleague, and you see him or her every day, and every day seeing him or her, that negative feeling comes, and that makes you sad, that makes you unhappy. You generate unhappy feeling just by, because you cannot change your ideas about that person. Persons are all different, no one is good or bad. So accept the different attitude of the person, different behavior of the person, and don't condemn anyone that he or she has to be like that. Nobody will be what you think of. The people have to be according to their samskara, they will be there. So we don't have to change other person. Rather, try to accept people as they are and find joy in the company and try to feel that they belong to our office, or they belong to our temple, or they belong in my friend circle. So, or my relative, they are. So, and enjoy their company, and we can really enjoy the company of the same person. How M went back after some time of Sri Ramakrishna's persuasion, and then he must be enjoying all the facilities that his parents were giving. No one is so bad. All this evil and badness, and mostly it is all concocted and thought of in our brain. So if we could give up that, life becomes much easy. We have to be simple like that, and don't. And when you start doubting or seeing some evil or badness in others, you go on multiplying and thinking more and more, and extrapolating the things that that person is this bad, that bad. And that doesn't harm another person. It terribly harms us. So we have to be very careful about not finding defects and others, blaming others or accusing others for anything. That is very non-spiritual. If you really want to be spiritual, you have to see other person as as he or she is, and accept that person as he or she is, as a devotee of God. So many common things are there. And say hello if you don't want to be close to that person. Say hello, but don't have cherish ill feelings. Daily we pray, may we not cherish ill feeling towards each other, and then you cherish ill feeling. So what is the importance of that prayer? It is exactly like running like the vulture. We become vulture when we hate someone. Pray with mouth. May we not have ill feeling towards each other, or may we not accuse, demand, or complain. And yet we have accusation and complain, and we see ill feeling. Isn't it like vulture? We say such high things, and yet we do not practice that at all. And our all things are that the world should be as we wish it should be. All devotees should be as I want them to be. All my colleagues should be as I want to be them to be. That ever happens in this world, people will be different. So, but we have to adjust, accept the people as they are. That's why Holy Mother in her so perfect message. He said, accept all. The world is your own. World with all varieties is your own. Not that world with only the people you like, or only you like them to see as you want is your own. World now with all its differences in the people, different behavior of the people is your own. When you try to find and start thinking the world is your own and people are your own, the defects and their problems, they vanish, they become dilute. That doesn't bother you at all. We are not bothered with the defects of our children because we love them. Thus, we have to love and accept them. Our children have so many defects, but we accept them. We say, okay, he's a child, he's a baby, he will learn later on. You don't really bother because you have made him or her your own. Like that, make the whole world your own, everyone as your being. Then these ill feelings will go, and you will have a clear and purer mind, and enjoy this devotee of God, enjoy the temple, enjoy the prayer, and ill feeling will go away. Otherwise, always the corner of your mind will have ill feeling, and you will not fully enjoy. Then you become like the vulture. So we don't need to be vulture. We need to be real devotee of God. If we soar in the sky, we need to see the wider world. We need to see the wonderful cloud and a cloud and the sun and the stars that are so beautiful there, the rivers and all that thing. But not looking for something dead body and trying to enjoy that. So looking defects on others and complaining about others is trying to find the dead body and trying to enjoy the dead body, because trying to make the whole thing to my own interest, to my own liking, to my own need, that will never happen. So, and you are go on searching the caracal, dead body, and all that. So, dead body because you eat that, you like that, you want that. So, whatever you want, you only go for looking that. That is not the way human beings happen. We have to make everyone our own and try to find and try to like everyone as because they are the children of God. They are my colleagues working for the same company, have the same aspiration that our company grows well, but in a different way, different little habit. This difference is so wonderful. God creation. It has to be there. There has to be difference of idea, attitude, behavior. All will be different, except there is different. So then you enjoy the world. And with such mind which doesn't complain against anyone, that mind becomes very easy to practice spirituality. And you are a happy person, joyful person. Then you start having joy in company of everyone. Otherwise, you with this person is bad, that person is bad, all that complaint will be there. So it's up to us how we want to lead our life, how we want to remain in this world, happy or troubled, or always worried, or always complaining, or always seeing divine in everyone and seeing good points in everyone. So that's what Sri Ramakrishna is saying. Go back to your father. Your fear of them is like you're being afraid of coming by boat. Everyone is coming by boat, and you are afraid. And he said it seriously. And there is no reason to be fearful by going by boat. So that is totally he abolishes his fear of riding boat, though he didn't know swimming because water was a little rough. So fear was baseless, useless. All were coming. There is a boatman. It is not a huge wave coming. There was no storm coming, hurricane coming like that. It boat will capsize. So, but is it fear like you're going by boat? He says, baseless fear, fear that has no reason, fear that can be avoided, and not taking trouble. Is that your fear of all the people in your home? So go back to home, adjust with them, and find the security that is provided by the joint family, and put a full mind to the spiritual practice. With this, we close, and now we do the closing chant. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu Jananiim Saradam Devim Ramakrishnan Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Sritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. Good night to everyone.